your act together and taking it on the road is what you're doing here in Hollywood.
Yes, it's a
People on
thing.
both coasts know that show, but do they know it in Middle America at all?
I think that there have been some companies that have opened around the country, Chicago, and there's been a company in Houston. I don't know the different places, but it's really a worldwide success. Now, Gretchen was on your show.
Yes.
You had the whole cast on. I thought that was so wonderful.
She wrote the show with that other lady.
Nancy Ford, yeah.
But golly, it must be a tough show to learn. I mean,
well, I learned it last spring when I did it in New York.
How long did it take you to?
I only had a week to learn it.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah.
All
It was
those
hard,
songs and all that dialogue in a week?
Yeah, I did.
Did you go and see the show?
Oh, yeah, I'd
help
seen
you
it a couple of times, you know, early in the run with Gretchen, and then I saw Carol Hall, who was doing it before I did it, you know. And
David, you'll be knocked out, and you will too, bro, because you've all seen Broadway shows, but you've never seen a show open like this. When you're sitting in the audience, I've been in the business since I was a little kid, all of a sudden people began to wander around the stage, and you're wondering, you're saying, I wonder if they work here, or if this is part of the cast. And then suddenly you'll see a guy walking out with a bass and take it out and start tuning it at the piano. I'll come in and start, and all of a sudden they say, that's a strange way for musicians. They act like we're not even here. And, you know, and that's exactly what they're doing, is pretending the audience isn't there. Then all of a sudden the thing starts before you know it, and it's wonderful.
Yeah, I like that. When I did it off-Broadway at the Circle in the Square Theater in New York, it's a very tiny house, you know, it has a real tiny, funky feeling, you know. And so I got to start the show in the warm-up, you know, very relaxed. But here in Los Angeles, they want it to be more of a show because it's a proscenium, you know, at the Huntington Hartford Theater and the stage. So I actually have to make an entrance. I don't get to be a part of the warm-up the way I was off-Broadway. So it's not quite as down home and feeling, you know. A couple of nights I've wanted to just sneak back and sit in the back, you know, and just, you know, be there and then just kind of pop up for my first line, you know.
But the audience, they don't know, they know Betty Buckley from 80's Enough, but they don't know you. Betty composed the song she just sang, which I think is wonderful.
Thank you. Thanks.
You've been doing that a long time, composing?
Yeah, I've been writing for a long time. I've been pretty shy about doing my music. Well, I guess it takes people time. I think of myself as a late bloomer. You know, it takes people time to grow up, and I've been fortunate in the years that it's taken me to grow up as a person and gain my confidence, you know, in life, that other people have hired me to work for them in that time period, so that I've actually gotten to work and learn about life and learn about, you know, working with people and doing television, 8's Enough, and film and all that. I've been very, very fortunate. But now
Which came first, the singing or the acting?
Well, the singing. I discovered I could sing when I was a little kid, and I had this big voice when I was 11. I remember in chorus, they always used to put me on the back row because I sang so loud, you know?
Yeah.
So, but no, I've been singing since I was a kid, but then, you know, the acting thing kind of came along, and that's how I've made my living. But I've written these songs, and I love them so much, and this other song I'm going to do for you later.
Is this the one you wrote for the 8's Enough?
Yeah, I wrote just for this episode on 8's Enough. It's called Travelers on a Star. It's real pretty, and it's going to be on 8's Enough pretty soon, yeah, it's going to air pretty soon. And it's about, the premise is that the family is doing a telethon for Unified Charities. And so I wrote this song as though Abby had written it. And there's been a lot of interest. I'm very excited about the tunes that I've done for a children's album.
Oh, isn't that nice?
Isn't that neat? I'm real excited.
Sing the one for us now that's going to be on an upcoming 8's Enough.
Okay.
Wouldn't you, Betty Buckley?
There are souls who sit in silence while some shout words of war. We're a people on a planet who've forgotten what we are. We defend our race and country in the face of so much need, and we trade our lives for money in the name of endless greed. But if the child inside could lead us, in a sense no wills to war, we'd be creatures on an earth ship, we'd be travelers on a star. In our seeing one another, all our sweetness would return. We would sing a song of gladness, and our hatred could be burned. In the firelight we'd see shining faces, feel our beating hearts, of dimensions who are simply playing parts would be stronger, would be kinder, would care to cause no pain. We could give up all our anger and we'd all begin again to a march of simple oneness, to the music of a drum, and in 4/4 time that we all can feel beating out the time in one. And our minds could drop the concepts while our throats would fill with song. It's of love and peace and wonder, and it's been so all along. There are souls who sit in silence while some shout words of war. We're people on a planet who've forgotten what we are. But if the child inside could lead us, in a sense, no wills to war, we'd be creatures on an earth ship. We'd be travelers